y'all country much. Was operating the case the other day, working on the pond site, and heard a terrible noise off the other side. You can see a slight gap in there between this piece and that piece. The bearings wore. I'm not going to discredit that idea, but that one's still functioning well enough. This one, on the other hand, there is no gap between this piece and this piece because the bearing has completely failed. The part's on the way, so we'll be planning on taking over and remove. I don't know what I'm gonna have to take off. I know I'm gonna take track system, not gonna have to take it apart. I'm just gonna take it off. That's tricky, but can be done. And I should have 4 bolts to let all that slide out. Slide the fresh one in, and that should get me going. It said the kinky track. I'm still kinky. The track's got kinks in it too. So this little section here has got a little chevron in it. Yeah, that's not coming out as it crawls. I dare say this one might not be. You can tell when you've run it because the wear shows. It'll be wore here at an angle and here at an angle, but this will be rusty still. Like these are shiny, shiny, shiny. These are bending properly. This one is subject to be stiff. So bear with me. The idea is when I get that off, I'm just going to take it down there and dunk it in the pond for a few days until I get this back together. They say water caused the problem. You get it wet, let the water get in there, infiltrate it, and run the machine again, and it'll work it free. We're going to try that. I couldn't try it all winter long because subject to freezing, and that's just not going to work for me. While I was at it, I pressure washed the whole thing. Nobody wants to watch pressure washing, I don't guess. Case 450B is what this machine is. And I may have to, I've already had to change this part. I may have to change the dialer up front on it too. I don't know. But it's a fairly good running little machine. It's just about 11,000 pounds. It's not brute force. It's just force. Driving it sounded terrible. You can definitely hear this grinding on that, but the bearing's gone. So now the subject at hand is cribbing it up. I'm gonna walk it up on these blocks. Got it on one. I'd like to have the whole machine about as high as it is now when I get finished. I noticed those moved a little bit. I'm not real comfortable with that, but here we are. Alright. Now can we get another hole one in there? We can. Sketch factor like a heavy right there. Heavy sketch factor. I don't particularly like that either, but we'll try it. That does cross them. We're now cribbed up. The crib here, that solid material from the front of that machine all the way to the ground. The blade's keeping it balanced. I'm not worried about that. And that's solid material. Right square to the ground. The plan is to remove the sprocket, untension it, remove the sprocket, get it where I can slide it below the lower rollers and bring the chain to me. Slide it forward off of the idler up front, get it out of my way. I can go dunk it in the pond like I said, let the water soak into it real good. We'll see if that works. Might even bring it up here and jackhammer it again. Anything's possible. But that's where I'm at. I'm not planning on doing this immediately. I want that part in my hand, because right now I can't move it. It's noisy and it's terrible, but it will move. Okay, it actually, if I got this side neutral, it will actually turn the machine. That's how hard that wheel's rubbing against that tuning fork. How about that? But I want that part in my sights before I pull it off. I've learned that. Somebody tell you it'll be here Tuesday, Wednesday, who knows what. They don't know which Tuesday or Wednesday. It may be 5 years from now. All right, my new idler come in. It sits similar to that in the machine. I think it's gonna fall over there. That goes up. It's not identical. There's some differences. I can't tell anything else until I get more of it out, whether that hook wraps around this, hook wraps around, and then this is these two bolts. These are probably some kind of a slack adjuster. That'll be there and there. So it's designed different. There's a large void there and a void there. There's also a wear bar I changed on the other side. There it is. There's two of them, one here, one in the back. I may wind up having to acquire some steel to fix that with. The last time I took this off, all of this is heavy, but it exposes a lot, lets you clean things out. There's dirt packed in here, I'm sure. And it gets that upper idler out of your way very easy. And then the other plan is to remove this back sprocket just to have more room to move things, to pull the chain to me, bring it forward. This will be removed. There's a grease plug in here, but I don't want to compress it too deep because I don't want to have to buy another one of these yet. But you can see right in there maybe how rusty and crusty that is. If I jam it in that seal very deep, that's why I won't take that back sprocket off. Jam it in there very deep right now, that'll be immediate repair. Right now, I just want to get this changed out so I can use it, catch a little more money, and then I can buy that other fork to put in there, the other slack adjuster. Gonna be a fan in the background. It's hotter than blazes here. That one's moving. 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 Turn it the opposite direction you're trying to get it to. I'm turning it as if I want the socket to go in. That puts slack in the system. When that hammer hits, there's slack here too. Everything hits. Turn it now. At first it wasn't turning. I forgot. These have got nuts on the back. Got two of them. Three. doing from both sides. Got all the bolts loose. The sprockets, got them in a bind at the moment. Locate my nuts. There's the 4, I'm thinking. That's all 4 of them. Let's see. There's 4 in there. Still missing 1. We'll get it in a moment. Why don't you dry the master link out, right? Because it's welded in. Okay, that's why I'm not driving the master link out. Making a little headway now. By no means is this the smoothest way to do this. There's a much better way. Should have cut the master pin out at this point, but I'm getting it. Appears to be off of everything. I just need to get to the side and pull it more toward me this way. It is off there, that's what I was going for. But like I said, probably not the smoothest method going on. It's going to be its own fun. Buying a used machine, I don't know if that's a welded steel patch. While I was pressure washing it, no it's not. That's it. It is a welded steel patch. Alright, I thought it was JB Weld at first. Yeah, that would have been really disappointing. Now then, get the sprocket out of my way, get the track system out of the way, then I can get to the front out of the whole idea about all this. Full disclosure, I hadn't removed the grease plug earlier. Part of my problem. See, that's a wear bar. You see how thin it is in there? I'd like to change that. That one is too. The bolts are missing. I did the other side while I had it apart, and I'd hate to put it back together or not at least remedy that in some fashion. So at this point, we should be ready to take it. That's your side to side. Want to put it back together, it'll go right there. Now there's no reason I can't turn that around. How that's worn, I can't turn that around. It's on the outside, on both sides. It's on the outside, so I can get to it. And if I wanted to change it and make another one, I can make another one. You see how thin it is there, how thick it is here? That's where that'll go. Okay. There's one of those on the inside. Look in there. It is also worn worse. Again, it's easy to get to. I can always change it later. So I can turn it around for now and get rid of that slack. Been beat up pretty bad. It needs dressing down with a grind wheel too. So that's the two side slides. That right there looks very much like that right there. So then in case we've got the right part, now I've got to get these out, and I need a smaller tool or some other method. The method I have right now is not going to work. Now we probably use the big one. Fit in there. Maybe you will. You know the story about the split washer, don't you? How's that gonna help? It was half broke when you put it on there. Woo. Oh, what you got? That is the offensive part. Close now. All right. Now then, see how thick that is, how thin it is here, how thick it is down there. It's not as noticeable there because this is the bolt's missing. Okay, that should be the same thickness, of course. And this one's suffering the same thing. And that's the wire what this wires against. And as I thought, there's a piece here in this one, but that one is designed totally different. It won't work the same. Stand this back up. That's what was happening. This was contacting the frame right there and causing a lot of noise and literally stopping the track from turning. All right. I got to see about these. What I'm gonna do about these wear bars? They're not as easy to get to later. It might be worth waiting until I get my hands on that part, the parts I need, the thickness I need. Those wear bars in there. I wouldn't want to try to get to that again because all this has got to happen again. I'd rather change it now while I can get to it. It might mean the machine's down a little longer, but at least I'll have done a better repair. I've already done this the other side. Even though I didn't change the idler is still functioning well enough. I did change those bars. And this track frame. I welded this up. It was cracked there. Now that I have access, it'd probably be wise to find it and see can I hem it up on the inside too. Quite honestly, there's a lot of work besides just changing the idler waiting on me to make sure I get a lot of use out of this without it being troublesome. Alright, every few minute projects, 20-minute projects is a broken bolt away from a few hours. It's been hours. That's the wear bars I wanted to remove. It's that thick there and this thick here that are wore out. I don't want to put them back like that. It's hard you can't get back here until you do what I've done. So I don't want to go through all this, just have to come back. So right now I've drilled them. I've heated them with just a propane torch. I don't have a set of torches. If that don't work, I'm studying the idea of welding down in that hole. Let it cool and shrink. You can probably take it out with your fingers by then. I wonder how I welded it up for now. I give plenty of time to cool by the time I come back and work on it again. I don't know what you know about this, but today finding good help is difficult. I've been working on this for a few hours, and this ass had just been sitting there watching me and ain't offered to move a bone to help me.